be bigger than the glory? It starts with the journey. And today, the Michigan Wolverines and Penn State Nittany Lions are dreaming of stars and the big stage. In the hustle and bustle of New York City, legends are born. From the bright lights of Broadway and the buildings of Wall Street, to the playgrounds where dreams of playing on basketball's grandest stage rise from the asphalt courts, there's nothing bigger than the world's most famous arena.
I wanna be bigger, bigger than it all, bigger than the glory. I can never fall, bigger than the sky, bigger than the clouds, we never coming down. I'ma be bigger.
From the heart of New York City in the shadows of the Empire State Building, BTN hits the Big Apple. That's right. Welcome to the world's most famous arena inside Madison Square Garden, where this game is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. The Michigan Wolverines looking for their 7th conference win, all set to take on a scrappy bunch of Nittany Lions from Penn State. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with John Crispin, and welcome to MSG. And, John, so much excitement in the conference about establishing a foothold in New York.
And I think it certainly helps the brand, which is the Big Ten, come into New York City, where really it's an East Coast brand in some ways, but you're starting to compete now with the Big East here in New York City. I also think it helps coaches. Coaches want to come in here and recruit this city, and having a presence certainly is going to help them.
All right, for Penn State, they've struggled a bit. They've lost 4 of their last 5, but their last win, a big one at Northwestern.
Yeah, they really need to get some momentum to get things rolling. It's the team, you don't want to look at the record and play them that way. You don't want to sleep on the Nittany Lions. They're going to compete, give themselves a chance, and Michigan's certainly concerned with that.
For the Michigan Wolverines, they'll be without their best player, Caris LeVert, missing his 8th consecutive game with a leg injury. But fortunately for John Beilein, he's had some other guys that have really stepped up their play.
You know, good teams respond well to adversity. Great teams actually get better. And I think that's what this Michigan Wolverines team has done. They have found balance without Caris LeVert. It really starts with ball spacing. You're going to see multiple players being able to knock down shots, make certain plays, but it's good spacing that allows them the freedom and creativity to be able to do what they do. They have a couple guys like Martinell who can get the ball down low, and if you have somebody you can throw the ball down low to and have multiple three-point shooters, it just makes things that much easier for your team. I think John Beilein likes how this team sets up, and I think he thinks when Caris LeVert comes back, they're going to be that much better in March.
And now for today's Reese's Perfect Combination.
Well, how about this? We just add them all. Usually it's 2. A combo can be more than 2. And look at the balance. This is what makes a team so tough to cover. Penn State's going to look at this and go, how do we stop all of them? That's the challenge that Pat Chambers has tonight.
All right, so coming up, it's Michigan and Penn State. First time these two teams met in Ann Arbor. Easy day for the Wolverines, but we're in New York City, folks, where anybody can be a star. Basketball on BTN is presented by great tasting 5-Hour Energy and brought to you in part by State Farm. We exist to assist. And welcome to the world's most famous arena, the Michigan Wolverines. Very familiar with this court. 2 NIT championships celebrated. As you take a look at the history for both teams, Michigan 15-9 all-time, 84 and 2006 NIT champions, and Penn State 10-6 all-time, 2009 postseason NIT champs as well. Gus Johnson, John Crispin, great crowd on hand tonight. Afternoon affair. And our Rick Pizzo is standing by with the 2 coaches.
All right, Gus, the hype is over, gentlemen. The buildup is over. It's time to play. Pat, what were your final words to the guys?
Just go out and compete, play hard, have some fun.
John, I know you told me no special pregame speeches. What were the final words?
We know that Penn State's a scrappy team, man. They play hard. We got to match their toughness.
Guys, appreciate both the time. Enjoy the game.
Thanks.
Gus?
All right, thank you very much. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, which are brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, guys, we talked to John Beilein, and he really has been happy with the production from Zach Irvin. Does a little bit of everything. Look for him to do that tonight. And on the other end, I look at Peyton Banks, a guy no one really talks about. He's improved his offensive game since Josh Reeves has been out with an illness. But Peyton Banks is a guy who can get things going for the Nittany Lions.
All right, Mark Donnell in the circle with Julian Moore. Michigan and Penn State, the last meeting, the Wolverines won at 79-56 in Ann Arbor on January 2nd. And Michigan has the ball to start.
I think a start is more important for Penn State than it is for Michigan. Michigan can find rhythm as they go, but Penn State needs to start strong.
Here's Walton Jr., the crafty point guard. Doing a lot of things for his team inside and one. Donnell using his body to bank that one down and draw the foul.
And for Donnell, he's going to find these open opportunities because you have so much of a concern. You see two guys go with the ball. You're so concerned with the three-point shot that it leaves the big guy wide open underneath.
And Devin Foster picks up the foul. So Mark Donnell had 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting and 4 rebounds on Wednesday in the Wolverines' 68-57 win at home against Rutgers. And a quick whistle.
That's an NBA whistle right there. That is an early whistle to clean things up, which I actually like in this game.
And your officials, Gene Steratore, John Gaffney, and Donnie Epeli. Donnell picked up the foul for Michigan. Penn State coming in with an 11-10 record, 2-6 in Big Ten play, 1-1 in neutral situations. Here's Julian Moore on the baseline. Long jump shot, up and off the front rim. No good for Garner. And a whistle. The basket will not count. Walton Jr.
You see Penn State already going to the zone. I think that first play, giving Donnell the wide open layup, showed them something to be concerned with.
Zach Irvin, mid-range jump shot, and it's pure. Irvin is doing a lot for this team nowadays. At first, Coach Beilein saying he was just a shooter. Now he's rebounding. He's handling the ball. His assists are up.
Well, sharing the basketball is one of the best ways to get yourself open shots. I mean, you're so concerned with how well he passes that he's going to find good one-on-one opportunities.
Coach Pat Chambers telling us that his team, as you take a look at John Beilein, that his team has to do a good job of taking care of the basketball and competing, and they've got to knock down some shots.
Yeah, and that's important because this John Beilein coach team can score points. They can really get it going from the perimeter, so you have to value every possession you get on offense.
Now Foster, the point guard. And a shot clock violation against Penn State as the Nittany Lions don't get it off in time. And there's Patrick Chambers, 45 years old, 5th season at Penn State, 5 years as an assistant to Jay Wright at Villanova. And he's got such a positive attitude. He knows that his team fights every night, may be a little challenged in terms of their talent in the Big Ten Conference.
Well, I think you have to have a positive attitude if you're the head coach of Penn State men's basketball. I mean, no doubt it's a developing program. It's just finding consistency along the way.
Abdur-Rahman has that ball stripped right into the hands of Donnell. Walton, quick release. Way short, out of bounds, and we'll stay right here.
And that's a tough one for Penn State. That's a good defensive possession. Just can't corral the rebound, and it stays for Michigan.
Chambers teams have hovered around 500 the last 3 seasons. Robinson straight away with the screen. Michigan very patient offensively. Generally with a John Beilein team, all 5 players can shoot the basketball.
And you're seeing a lot of switching from Penn State in the man. Now, against the zone, it's a bit more of a matchup, but a lot of switching going on in man-to-man.
And Isaiah Washington called for the foul. And he'll check out of the game. Sub coming in for the Wolverines.
I think you're going to see a lot of substitutions from both teams because both teams want to keep the energy high. You don't ever want to get lackadaisical against either team.
Ricky Doyle has checked in for Michigan, number 32. He'll line up on the box. Doyle moves it inside. Robinson, nice look to Doyle, who's fouled. Duncan Robinson with a terrific pass, and Ricky Doyle will go to the line and shoot two.
And Duncan Robinson found the mismatch. I mean, Ricky Doyle on Shep Garner. Yeah, you want to get it inside. Good interior passing, and Doyle goes to the foul line.
Ricky Doyle, sophomore from Cape Coral, Florida, averaging 4 points a game. This is the free throw. 67% free throw shooter on the season.
How about that change of scenery? Florida to Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Terrific place to go.
It is a terrific
As a
place
Michigan
to go.
man myself, I don't know what you're talking about, big boy. Ann Arbor's a beautiful place in January. And to the basket, Foster. Here come the Wolverines with a 5-0 lead. Penn State struggling offensively so far. Doyle. Irvin, get off the bounce. Baseline, Walton, 14 to shoot. Penn State digging in defensively, 10 to shoot. Irvin driving, looking. Doyle, gotta hurry. Doyle shows it, dips, and banks it down.
How about that move? It looked like it took 10 seconds just for him to get that shot off. I didn't think there was any chance he was getting that shot off by the end of the shot clock, but the slowest but most effective move we've seen all day.
George Mikan action there.
I'll say. He looked like he should be wearing short shorts on that move.
Now Taylor gets it outside, and finally Penn State getting on the ball. Peyton Banks knocks down a triple.
And that's where you can see the threat of Brandon Taylor in the post. They sent Duncan Robinson down to dig down, get the ball back out, but it's Peyton Banks knocking it down.
Irvin, deep jump shot, and he drains it.
They're hard to cover, man. They are hard to cover when they space you out that way.
Zach Irvin has 5 already. He's averaging 10 points a game on the season. Brandon Taylor calling for the ball. He's going to have to go to work. He's their leading scorer at 15 a game. And a blocking foul coming up against Irvin. So Michigan off to a good start, 10-3 lead. Ricky Doyle, great footwork inside for the Wolverines here in New York City. And a beautiful shot of the Empire State Building here in Midtown Manhattan. Michigan with a 10-3 lead over Penn State. And let's go to Rick Pizzo for an update on Michigan athletics.
Well, Gus, this may be Super Saturday in New York City, but Friday was a huge day for the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. Ward Manuel named the program's new athletic director. Everyone knew that Jim Hackett would be a permanent spot for the athletic director position. Who would replace him? Well, it turns out to be Manuel, formerly the athletic director at UConn and a guy who played football at Michigan. Actually said yesterday it was this very week 30 years ago that he agreed to play football for the Wolverines. And even though he comes from UConn, a school whose colors include blue, he said that now, for the first time in a long time, he can truly say, go blue, and actually mean it. Gus?
All right, thank you very much. Penn State working hard offensively, and this is Peyton Banks who ignited them in this first half after a very slow start.
Well, they've got to find a way to be the aggressor. I mean, there's no way around it. The aggressor usually wins in these games, and Penn State has been really playing on their heels to start this game.
Banks with all 5 points for the Nittany Lions. Doyle. Walton curling. Long jump shot. And Duncan Robinson buries a triple.
I mean, that's just so pretty. I know that's a white man can't jump reference, but it's so pretty.
I can just picture Wesley Snipes right now saying that. That is the prettiest jumper in the Big Ten, and he just gets it to go. With his size, he can shoot over top of anyone.
Taylor on the baseline looking for his first basket. Drop step, sets it off the glass and in. He is a very solid basketball player.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit of everything in his game. I think the more they go to him in the post and find that mismatch, they're going to be able to get him sharing the basketball, getting everybody else involved. I think that's a good recipe for success for Penn State.
He didn't shoot the ball well against Ohio State. 5 of 16, 11 points.
No one did. It was an ugly game for Penn State. They really struggled on the offensive end.
Rahman Wilson just in the game. He spins, 11-foot fade. No good. And Isaiah Washington will bring it up the floor. Taylor, baseline. Now posted. Splits. Leaves. Off the glass, no. Rahman racing into the front court. Robinson shows it. Stop and start. Walton. And a traveling violation against the Wolverines.
You gotta like this. That is pretty. I mean, this is the type of thing you can live with. That's a contested jumper, but it looks so good. And when you get mismatches for Brandon Taylor, he is going to abuse guards in the post. But that last possession threw up an ill-advised shot. That's where I want to see him become a better passer.
Tell you what, John Beilein, one of the best skills coaches in all of college basketball. He's had some shooters, Stauskas, Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke. Meanwhile, Penn State trying to shoot the ball themselves. Shep Garner, he'll rattle one home. Penn State against Ohio State, 4 for 25 from the three-point line.
Hard to win basketball games shooting it like that, but Shep Garner is an elite-level shooter. He just doesn't get many good looks.
Wilson deep in the corner. He fires. Loose ball batted around and claimed by the Nittany Lions as Isaiah Washington pulled it down. Now Foster the other way. Garner peels it back and takes his time. 12:35 to play in the first half. From the world's most famous arena.
Sorry, Gus, this is where I'd like to see something for Shep Garner. I want to see if they can get him going, find him some rhythm offensively.
Washington fouled on the three-point attempt. So Isaiah Washington decked by Duncan Robinson.
It's all set up by good penetration. There you're going to see the foul. Not egregious, but yeah, I'm telling you, if I'm shooting that shot, I want that foul, mainly because it didn't go in. You always tell the refs, I don't miss that badly. So it's got to be a foul.
Isaiah Washington from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Scoreless against the Buckeyes. He was 0 for 3 in 13 minutes. And this man has been scoreless actually in the last 4 games. 0 for 7 in those games. Off to a good start now. He gets a second. Take a photo on Instagram showing your school pride using the hashtag BTN Winning Shot Contest for a chance to have your photo featured in a Big Ten basketball game. For contest details and rules, visit btn.com/BTN Winning Shot.
Isaiah Washington, he's not going to give you a ton of offense, and I think it's something you can live with. That's just not what he does right now for this team, but if he can give you energy, you take it.
He levels the game with the free throws at 13 for Penn State. Right back in it. And now they'll get back into a zone. And they switch to man. Well, quiet offensively thus far. Doyle, 5 to shoot. Walton has to hurry. High archer. Off the heel. Penn State now with a chance to take the lead. Donovan Jack is checked in for the Nittany Lions. He wears number 5.
And this is not a very offensive-friendly lineup for Penn State. If they can make shots, if Isaiah Washington can get that thing to go down, they're just stealing minutes right now.
Dawkins in the game. He'll rake it and take it into the front court. And that ball thrown away by the Wolverines. Peyton Banks. got Irvin with him. Baseline out to Rockman. Beautiful execution of the fast break.
This is really a tough lineup for Pat Chambers. I mean, I'm just not sure where they go offensively. There's nothing going on that end, and it leads to a run out and a layup.
Jordan Dickerson, the 7-footer in the lineup for Penn State, and a foul coming up. Looks like this will be against Abdur Rahman. There's Dickerson. 10:53 to play, first half. 15-13, Wolverines. Shot of Penn State making their way down from State College. Jordan Dickerson, the only New York native on this Penn State team, coming back home. He's out of Brooklyn, New York. Went to Abraham Lincoln High School. And for more on Dickerson and some interesting people that have attended Lincoln, here's Rick Pizzo.
Well, Gus, Lincoln High School is a high school basketball factory. 8 city titles in the last 19 years. They've produced NBA players like Sebastian Telfair, Lance Stevenson, Stephon Marbury, and of course, no one can forget about the fictional Jesus Shuttlesworth from Spike Lee's He Got Game. He was the #1 recruit in that movie, also out of Lincoln High. But they've also produced plenty of celebrities and entertainers. Neil Diamond, Harvey Keitel, Marv Albert on the list. Then again, what would you expect from an alumni base when the high school is named after the one of the most influential figures in American history, my friend?
All right, you're absolutely right. Lincoln High School, Jesus Shuttlesworth, He Got Game, Ray Allen. I was in that. I did a voiceover.
Would you have made that list? I mean, how did Jordan Dickerson get on that list of notable alums? That's ridiculous. Neil Diamond, Marv Albert? Come on. This is what I want to track. You're going to see at the bottom, 5 assists on 6 made field goals. That's a trend you see with some of the best teams in the conference. Michigan State being one of them, share the basketball so well. I think that continues for Michigan. Right now, 3 assists on 4 made field goals for Penn State. Not sure if they keep that up.
Aubrey Dawkins, great rotation on the jump shot. His father, Johnny Dawkins, College Player of the Year at Duke, head coach at Stanford. Saw him a couple of weeks ago when Stanford took on Cal in Palo Alto. Cardinal winning that game. Now Banks, he pushed that.
You got Aubrey Dawkins, and this is a guy who in layup lines was just showing out, throwing it down, but that's what he can also do. I mean, that is just perfect rotation. There's a reason why they shoot a high percentage, and part of it is they get good looks. They really share the basketball, they get good looks, but they have guys that have perfect rotation and can splash.
Aubrey's so fortunate he got his mother's jump shot.
Yeah, you're right. You said it. I didn't say that. You said it.
Here's Irvin, picks up his dribble to no man's land. 10 to shoot. They'll give it back to him to go to work. Hesitation. The kick. Rising fire Robinson. That's a brick. Foster with a rebound. He brings it up the floor. Foster sliding to the basket, makes it in and draws the foul.
You have no idea how hard it is to cover a left-handed player. A guy that can go to the left hand, it's just sneaky. Somehow they always find a way to get a shot off. And Devin Foster's got probably the best body on the floor. If he gets his body into you, he's going to abuse you. I think he's built more like an NFL cornerback than a guard in college basketball, but he's pretty useful.
Devin Foster, senior, Dayton, Ohio, averaging 7 points a game on the year. Adds the free throw. Penn State right in this game, 18-16. Abdur Rahman hangs in the air with English.
How does that happen? How do you make a foul shot on one end and give up a layup on the other in transition? Those are the things that Penn State need to clear up if they want to have a chance to win this basketball game.
Moore back to the basket, 6'10", and draws a foul. Mark Donnell called for the foul, and that will send Julian Moore to the line to shoot 2.
If you have a guy, and look, he's not going to give you a ton of points in Julian Moore. I think his energy's been great. I think he's developed a lot throughout the course of this season. But if you have a guy that you can at least go to at times, and he ends up at the foul line, that still is a weapon. The hope is that he can make at least 1 out of 2.
Moore, in his only start of the season against Radford in November, had 16 points on 7 of 11 shooting. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Germantown Academy.
Talk about a team that's recruiting Philadelphia. Pat Chambers has had so much success pulling from the Philly, Chester area. Another great recruiting class coming in next season.
Rahman inside. Snell, pump fake. Baseline, Dawkins, fade away. Bam. Nice shot by Aubrey Dawkins, who's hit 2 threes. Now a steal by Walton Jr. racing up the floor, uses his body and lays it in. Timeout, Penn State. 8:24 to go, first half. Michigan doing it on the defensive end. 25-17.
We welcome you back to Madison Square Garden, where the Wolverines are really starting to find some rhythm on the offensive end. And for Pat Chambers, that has to be a big concern. And when you turn the ball over, it leads to an easy run out. The big body gets a layup. You quickly call timeout. You have to gather your troops, get things going in the right direction again.
Michigan 4 of 8 from the three-point line here in the first half. And Coach Chambers, when we talked to him in the locker room before the game, his points of emphasis very clear. We've got to make shots, stay out of foul trouble. Michigan won't beat Michigan, so Penn State can't beat Penn State.
That's a great point. I mean, look, that's a great point. And what I would say is easier said than done. I mean, that's the thing. You get out on this stage, on the floor, Michigan here switching up defenses, back in the zone, taking the rhythm out of the game for Penn State, making things challenging.
Jeff Garner taking his time, 5 to shoot. He'll kick it out. Taylor, a jump shot. And he missed that one badly. Walton Jr., baseline, Irvin. Taylor pulls it down.
You're seeing that shot more and more in the college game. It's a quick three in transition, but it's actually a good shot. Stepping into it, good look.
Garner deals it down low. And Dickerson missing the layup and a foul as they bring it up the floor. Tomorrow, it's a new episode of BTN's original The Journey. Big Ten Basketball 2016. Then our college hoops experts cover the major topics in college basketball on Big Ten Basketball and beyond.
I love that show. I get an opportunity to actually have a little more of an opinion. I mean, there's only so much you can get across in a game. You know, you got to stay the course, talk about the action. We get a little bit of everything in basketball and beyond.
It all starts at 9:30 Eastern tomorrow on BTN.
I'm not talking about like a Twitter opinion. I'm saying real like a perspective. You know what I'm saying?
You know you're about to get killed on Twitter. 5 seconds. Abdul Rahman, no. Gets his own rebound, wide open and lays it in.
Didn't even hit any rim. I mean, guys converge to the basket, but if the miss is bad enough, you find a way to get it back.
Abdul Rahman with 6. Michigan taking a 27-17 lead. That ball deflected, picked up by Brandon Taylor. Isaiah Washington back in the game. Jeff Garner. 6 to shoot. Garner driving, kicking. Banks got it.
I would say do that to start the possession. That's the way you attack the zone. You've got to get inside the team and the defense if you want to get that defense to converge, find open shooters around the perimeter. Get that zone to work.
Aiden Banks with 8 points. 7-point lead for the Wolverines. Abdul Rahman, nice ball fake, 14-footer. Snatched down by Brandon Taylor. Washington thinking about it, lets it fly, way short. And a rebound goes to Walton Jr. Hesitation to the hole. Abdul Rahman, jump shot, no! Dawkins there for the tip jam, just couldn't lay it down, but he got up high.
Man, I flexed my hamstrings a little on that. I thought that was about to go down. Aubrey Dawkins, and this is what you want to do against the zone. See how they got inside the defense. Kicked out, good open look. Just do it earlier. He hung up there for a while. I literally, I kind of came up off my seat a little bit. That was going to be nice. Good miss.
Aubrey Dawkins averaging 8 points a game on the season. Really shooting the ball well from the three-point line, 48%.
He's also the best athlete. I mean, he just showed it right there. But to bring him off the bench, instant offense, a lot of energy. Great length, too.
Rahman runs the pick and roll with Donnell. Now drives, finds Donnell, and throws it out of bounds.
It's a great idea. I think that's a good idea. They found the mismatch on the switch. Penn State is switching everything and getting caught in tough situations on defense. Just couldn't connect the pass.
Andrew Dockich has come in for the Wolverines. Taylor spinning inside. And nicely done.
Oh, that's a good move. Again, it's getting the ball inside of the defense. It was an ISO situation against Andrew Dockich. No offense to Dockich. I'm going with Taylor on that matchup.
Here's Dockich, and he dribbles it out of play. Nice pressure by Penn State.
Talk about Brandon Taylor and what he can do outside in, inside out, whatever it is. If you can get the ball inside against this zone, you're going to have opportunities, and that was an ISO opportunity against a smaller guard.
Pat Chambers telling us that he wanted his team to punch back in this game.
I think they need to punch, get punched, and then keep punching back. I mean, that's the thing. You can't just wait for the other team to punch either. I think they really need to be the aggressor. And I like what they're doing looking inside. Just have to make better passes.
Taylor again inside. And he can't get the roll. Tapped out of bounds. But Penn State will keep it. You like how the Nittany Lions are competing here at the Garden.
It's physical, and that last possession where they got the turnover by their bench, you could see the energy in the entire coaching staff, the entire bench. They're not going to let up. They will be relentless for the entire 40 minutes. Which is Pat Chambers. I mean, you meet Pat Chambers and you learn how intense he really is. That's what he wants his team to be.
Jeff Garner. Banks has hit some big shots in this first half. His confidence rising. Taylor calling for it and deflected out of play by Walton Jr.
And this is where spacing offensively is going to be important, because if you don't have good spacing, at least 15 feet apart, you're going to have a tough time with that post-entry feed. Brandon Taylor had good possession and I think a good matchup to go against down low, but they couldn't get it inside.
Donovan Jack, Davis and Boulis on the floor for Penn State. 8 to shoot for Garner. Garner, fadeaway. And here comes Irvin. Walton on the right wing. Donnell the trailer. Irvin kept it up high and draws the foul, and they're going to count that basket. Goaltending.
And Irvin is just too strong. I mean, if you're backpedaling, going against the grain here, you're falling backwards, and you got Zach Irvin coming your way. There's only so much you can do. If anything, I think it's a harder foul. There's nothing you can do to stop that. Just hard foul so he doesn't get a shot up.
Zach Irvin going to the free throw line, a 63% shooter, 8 points against Rutgers, but he had 12 rebounds and 8 assists. Now Wilson will come back in for Michigan.
You're starting to see the depth of Michigan. I mean, you think about with Karis LeVert, one of the best players in the country. I think he's a top 20 player in the country, but one of the top 5 in this conference. He's on the bench, and you're seeing how deep this team is, and the way they can mix up defenses, too. It adds to the depth.
Karis LeVert missing his 8th consecutive game with a leg injury for the Wolverines. Nittany Lions turn it over. Walton Jr. in transition. The 3, no. Donnell, great position, and he's fouled. 3:44 to play. First half, Michigan up 30-22. Here at the world's most famous arena. That's Times Square, folks.
Sounds like a hockey town.
So here's Donnell. At the line. And he'll get the first. Mark Donnell. 7 points a game, 4 rebounds. Had 10 points against Rutgers on Wednesday, along with 4 rebounds on 4 of 6 shooting.
He's really improved that, and I think the balance around the perimeter helps him because he's really getting good looks. Big guys get good looks when you can knock down 3-point shots. A lot of ISO opportunities and a lot of drive and dish for layups.
Lead back up to 10 for Michigan. Taylor inside. Pulls up over Donnell. That ball batted around. Donnell trying to clear it, and he's fouled.
love the flexing that you see over on the sideline. Good rebound. The whole Michigan bench stands up. They start flexing. We used to say weight room. Remember, you beat somebody, you say weight room. It's good to see both teams. We've seen both benches, both coaching staffs really get into it. Keeping the elbows in. Don't want to have to go to the monitor for anything.
Donovan Jack picked up the foul, so Donnell back at the free throw line, and he'll miss it. 3:23 to play first half. 10-point game.
And here you got to switch. That's what you want to take advantage of.
Taylor cut off on the baseline. Finds Gardner for three. And Bulis with the offensive rebound has it swiped. Dawkins lead pass. Abdur-Rahman. Back to Dawkins wide open. And that's generally money in the bank.
Yeah, he has been great from three. Just really didn't have rhythm on that jump shot. Not sure he knew where the defense was.
Garner, quick release. And Walton Jr. comes swooping into the board.
I think Garner's a guy you really got to find him rhythm early. If he can get a good rhythm early, he is dangerous. He's very good from the perimeter.
Irvin a push, and that one sails out of bounds.
I don't know what's going on here. We've seen some bad shots back and forth. Both teams seem to be pressing a little bit too much. Take your time. Find a little rhythm in the offense.
And I think that's what John Beilein is saying to Zach Irvin.
But as he said, we talked to him before the game, that's really what Zach Irvin was. He was a scorer first, and it's been a little bit of an evolution of his game as he's developed the passing game and even rebounding the basketball.
Taylor got to the basket. Brandon Taylor. 6 points now. Penn State trying to keep close. Nice pass, Donnell, and he's fouled by Jack Donovan, but Irvin put that one on a dime.
That was a perfect pass, and Donnell's just got to catch it and go right up. You're going to get a good look at this. The little reach-around pass, he drops it right down. Just go right up with it. Don't line up your steps. Just take the layup. I don't know anything about finishing around the rim, but just take the 2 points.
Donnell's brother Andrew, an offensive lineman for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Stay tuned for analysis, predictions, and more on the State Farm halftime report. Mike Hall in just 7 minutes.
Talk about the Iowa Hawkeyes, a team this year, both football and basketball, they've been tremendous. I mean, everybody says, too, if you're a Hawkeye fan, they say, we still don't get any respect. They're number 3 in the nation. Yeah, I think you're getting respect.
Lost their last game in Maryland, but I remember when Fran McCaffrey was hired at Iowa. I said to myself and to anybody that would listen, he's going to turn it around. He is a terrific basketball.
He is a great basketball coach, and they can win in a variety of ways. They can beat you fast, they can beat you slow, and they have great depth, which I thought was going to be the issue for them this year.
John Beilein, he's done so many great things in his 9 years. He'll turn 63 next Friday. 4 straight NCAA tournaments from 2011 through 14, including a runner-up finish in 2013 to Louisville in the national championship game, and an Elite 8 in 2014. 3-time Coach of the Year in the Big Ten.
You know, Gus, what always amazes me, you say he's going to turn 63. Guys that have seen not only the evolution of the game, and the game has changed, but with social media, how much it's changed how you go about your business. I think guys like John Beilein, Coach K, that have been around for so long, how they've had to deal with Twitter and bloggers, and everything has changed in terms of how you approach kids. Texting. Texting became an issue with recruiting. It's amazing that these coaches have gone through so much.
Beilein, 3-time Coach of the Year in the Big Ten, the Colonial, and the Metro Atlantic Conference. And a whistle.
This is good, hard basketball. Pokes it out. A little trip. Yeah, blow the whistle.
Zemgula's called for the foul, so Abdur-Rahman at the line from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And a career-high 25 against Purdue on January 7th, making 10 of 16 shots. 6 points, 4 rebounds in the first half. And the second is good.
He's a guy that can get it going in a hurry, though. I mean, especially in transition. They push the ball. He attacks the glass. He is very tough to stop in transition.
Garner kicks it out. Banks almost threw it away. And jump ball is the call, so Penn State will hold on.
And that's the right idea, just a bad pass. You got to make a pass that a player can handle. And for Julian Moore, Julian Moore getting the ball out his feet is going to be tough.
Especially when you're 6'10".
Yeah, I mean, maybe for you and I, we can reach down and go grab it. You want that ball up.
Shep Garner, 10 to shoot. He'll take a long jump shot. Not a good shot.
No, they really had nothing going there. And look, if you're in rhythm, if you've made a few shots in the first half, I don't mind it. But if you struggle to find any rhythm offensively, that's not a good way to get it.
Walton Jr. Backdoor, Dawkins, good catch. Abdul-Rahman picks it up. Under a minute to play, 8 to shoot. Walton gets down the lane, hangs in the air. And Penn State basketball.
I like the attack, though. I really do. I mean, Walton Jr. goes to the basket very strong. And that reminds me a little of Trey Burke. Trey Burke used to do a great job of elevating, getting his body into the defender, and still getting a shot up.
Shep Garner will walk it up the floor.
And no, I didn't just say that Walton Jr. is Trey Burke. What? Someone's going to hear that.
Banks wide open. Walton Jr. hits the deck, gets it to Dawkins, and Michigan will play for one shot.
I think this was a good half for Michigan. Michigan could have shot the basketball better. They're going to take a timeout, talk about what they want to do.
13.4 remaining in the first half. And to go. And a look at the standings in the Big Ten.
I'll tell you what's interesting. I think there are 3 tiers. There is tier 1, which is our elite teams. There are usual suspects, which are NCAA tournament teams. And then there's everybody else. I think it's wide open for everybody else to slide into that 7th spot. I think Ohio State could be the 7th team in the Big Ten, in the NCAA tournament if they start to play with a little bit of consistency.
10 seconds remaining in the first half. Walton Jr. on the baseline, driving, hands it off. Doyle struggling with the handle and jump ball. Michigan will hold on with 5.6 to go. And now Duncan Robinson comes back in. He's a shooter. Donnell back in as well.
What you're telling Duncan Robinson is don't foul. We got 2 fouls right now. Don't foul on an offensive play.
Irvin the inbounder. That ball deflected by Dickerson with 4.5 to go.
That's a great shot. That's why it's hard to pass over that man. Look how big he is. You're not going to get a lob to the rim over that guy.
He's 7'1". Irvin looking. Robinson, 3 seconds. Robinson in the corner. Irvin fires and hits.
Wow. Wasn't exactly pretty. Wasn't great execution, but they still got a shot to go. Good half for Michigan.
Zach Irvin with 11 points in the first half, and the Wolverines take a 38-26 lead into the locker room.
You got to be happy making a shot down the stretch. Get a little momentum going into the half.
So Zach Irvin ends the half on a good note for the Wolverines. Here's Rick Pizzo.
John, a nice lift with the 3 at the end, but you guys struggled from long range in the first half. How key was the play in the painted area?
Well, it's important we get in, and what they're doing, they're switching every screen, Rick. So they're trying to take away the 3 game. We got to drive the ball more. We can't be settling for jump shots. So we're trying to get 2 feet in the paint as often as we can. If they don't give help, then we can finish.
Defensively, you limit Shep Garner to 1 of 6. What have you done so well against their best player?
Well, Derek Walton really has become an elite defender at just knowing how to guard his particular man. So he's missed a couple open ones now. We can't leave him as open in the second half, but Derek Walton's doing a great job, and then maybe the zone helped a little bit as well.
Thanks, John. Good luck in the second half.
Rick.
Gus?
All right, thank you, Rick. 38-26, our score at halftime. Michigan knocking down threes. Penn State, though, still fighting.
I wanna be bigger, bigger than the fame, bigger than the lights, bigger than the money. Out on the stage. I wanna be bigger, bigger than it all, bigger than the glory. I can never fall, bigger than the sky, bigger than the clouds. We never coming down.
And welcome back to Madison Square Garden. We're at halftime as BTN hits the Big Apple. Great crowd on hand to watch Michigan and Penn State. Solid first half. Michigan with the lead as we take a look at the K Jewelers first half stats.
And the one that really sticks out to me is the 9 assists, and that's 13 made field goals for Michigan. They do a great job sharing the basketball. For Penn State, I think they got to go back into Brandon Taylor, find themselves some easier looks.
Gus Johnson, John Crispin with you. Michigan, a 42% three-point shooting team, 5 of 14 in the first half. I thought Penn State showed some moments in that first half.
There are opportunities for Penn State to take advantage of certain things they're going to get in the game, but it's going to be hard. I'll tell you, it really is difficult. When you have this kind of balances, you're going to see Aubrey Dawkins jab them down, line them up, and just shoot it in your face. I mean, that's what they can do, but they also share the basketball so well. How do you cover this many guys that can make plays? It was switch, 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 mismatch, wide open layup. And you can make plays in the half court, but if you can get yourself easy buckets, you're going to see a 3-on-2 executed to perfection with the finish. That's what makes this Michigan team so good. Down the stretch, yeah, they got a tough 3 to go. It's just another shared basket, but they're so good because they have so many weapons, such great balance.
And here are today's Auto Owners game leaders.
And we saw Peyton Banks. He's really the guy. We talked about him as we looked at lineups. He's the guy that if he can get things going, he's a third option, but an added weapon for the Nittany Lions. Right now, they just need one.
All right, start of the second half. Penn State with the basketball. Foster along with Shep Garner, Taylor. Now on the baseline is Julian Moore. And Banks on the court. Garner, baseline, Moore. Turns, fires, short. Foster with the rebound, trying to create space. 3 to shoot. Garner's got to push it up. And that's a shot clock violation.
And Gus, I like what both teams have done. Both coaches have done in terms of switching up defenses. I think it's important for Penn State to do this again in the second half to try to limit the rhythm that Michigan finds within the offense. And for Penn State, offensively going against the zone, they have really struggled. You got to be able to get the ball inside into the painted area if you want to attack it right.
Walton, Jr., Irvin, Donnell, Robinson, and Abdul-Rahman. Inside, stolen away. Nice job by Devin Foster. He'll lead the charge. Foster kicks. Shepard, a good look, and he hits.
It's amazing what happens when you get good looks. And threes in transition tend to be the best 3 you're going to find all game. Shep Garner's the guy. I said, if you can get him going, he could get hot. Play with a little tempo. They can come back in this game.
Garner now with 8 points. 38-29. With a solid first half, fights his way down the lane, leans in, and gets the roll.
I love that sit-down play where you get in the lane, you get your body into the defender, you create a little bit of space. You don't just go right up with it. You sit, you wait patiently, and go finish. 9 points for Abdul-Rahman.
Greatest name maybe in college basketball. Muhammad Ali Abdul Rahman inside Julian Moore with a jump hook.
How about that? Every big guy, I'm telling you, I'm not a big guy, can't coach big guys, maybe footwork, but every guy over 6'10" should have a left shoulder right hook or right shoulder left hook. It's unstoppable.
Irvin at 11 in the first half, crosses over, has that one knocked out of his hands, but Penn State will get it.
Garner's a guy you got to get going. Devin Foster did a great job getting the ball out in transition, waiting, drawing the defense to give Shep Garner an opportunity to knock down a shot.
And let's bring in Rick Bezos for more on Penn State.
Well, Gus had a chance to chat with Pat Chambers coming out of the locker room. He said it's very simple. His team just needs to make shots. He was pleased with what they did defensively, pleased with the offense that they run. They just couldn't find the bottom of the net. Shep Garner specifically, 1 of 6. He said, I'm not sure what to tell you. It could be the ankle. It could be that he's pressing. He's a sophomore. It's going to happen. But for us to win, he has to hit shots in the second half.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. Well, he's off to a good start in the second half, hitting that first shot of the half. Now Brandon Taylor backing his way in, across the lane, jump hook, good.
That's a grown man YMCA move. Just body the man down, just body you down, get yourself to an area where you can make a high percentage shot.
40-33 Michigan. Penn State refusing to go away. Irvin. Rahman on the hop to the basket, block, gets it back. Shot clock doesn't reset. Now curls down the lane and hits the runner.
How about that for Penn State? You play great defense. You block the shot right back to Rahman. He gets it back, circles around, and makes the layup.
Rahman with 11 points now. Foster, Taylor a 3. Julian Moore with the offensive rebound. Taylor down the lane. And knocked out of bounds. Penn State with chances.
Michigan's doing a good job just getting after it, staying after the ball. Ball gets blocked. Rahman just circles around. No one really stops him. That's what happens. If you can probe enough in the lane, good things are going to open up.
Walton Jr. gives it up to Rahman. Irvin looking for a shot. Closing in on. Irvin again. Irvin down the lane, the kick. Walton Jr. tried to deal it, deflected. Donnell picks it up. 6 to shoot. Abdul Rahman. The floater again, short. Batted out. Loose. Walton Jr. bats it to Irvin. Irvin. Hard left-hand dribble leaves his feet. Looked like he traveled. Yes, he did.
Yes, and that's the right call. And Shep Garner was tremendous on defense. Right now, Penn State's playing with a little bit of energy. They're down 9, but they're fighting back hard here at MSG.
42-33, Michigan on top of Penn State here in the second half in New York City, and some of the legends are in attendance. Cassie Russell, who was the first pick, #1 pick in school history in '66 by the Knicks, played with Walt Frazier and Dave DeBusschere with this Knicks team, won a championship in '69-70. Cassie, a terrific scorer in college, and some of the recent players that have gone on to the NBA, Burke, Hardaway, Stauskas, Gary, and Glenn Robinson III.
Don Beeline's got to stop coaching these guys up.
Tell you what, I told him in the locker room he can't
right.
he can't let him he can't teach him how to shoot a jump shot until their junior year. Too many guys going to the NBA.
Let's just stick with the fundamentals here, guys. I don't want to make you NBA stars yet. Luckily, he's not the only program in the country who's having that issue.
Kentucky, Duke.
Basically everyone who's got a top 10 team.
Arizona.
Tom Izzo's the one. Of all people, somehow Tom Izzo finds a way to keep guys around long enough to have a great team. And even if they're figuring it out along the way as they are right now, there's no surprise when you see them in the Final Four.
And then when they leave, they become Draymond Green.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all. Remember, he was a chubby, fat kid when we first met him.
You said it, man.
Worked his way into shape and all knocked out of play.
I'd rather be a chubby, fat kid than turn into Draymond Green than be a, physically fit athlete and turn into what I've become. So it's all right.
Draymond Green. Inside, nice look, and a whistle and foul. Julian Moore missed the layup, but he will go to the line and shoot two.
Good execution, out of bounds underneath. You don't get too many good looks out of bounds underneath because your teams actually scout against this, and that's definitely a foul. That would have been a dunk. Penn State needs a couple of these to go. They need some easy buckets to go. It's a 9-point game. This is still a basketball game. I think as poorly as Penn State has shot the ball, Pat Chambers has to feel good about where his team's at.
Julian Moore, 67% free throw shooter. Broke his nose as a freshman. Complications led to a medical red shirt. He's a sophomore. Second free throw good.
He's just another one of those guys when you add them to the recruiting class that's coming in, and it's a recruiting class some have top 10 in the country, number 2 in the conference. You don't think of Penn State as having the number 2 recruiting class in the conference, but they've got it coming in next year. You add Shep Garner to that, Julian Moore, Peyton Banks, Josh Reeves, who's not playing because of an illness. He'd be very good.
Irvin forcing his way to the basket, lays it in and draws the foul. John Beilein so complimentary on this young man's development.
Well, and it's the development of the other things outside of scoring. We're going to show him making a scoring play. That's what he can do so well. But last game almost had a triple-double, very quietly, too. Shares the basketball very well, and there's a few other guys around the country that do that as well, and one of them being Denzel Valentine, a guy who does not just a little bit of everything, but a lot of everything.
Straight in, guys, straight. One shot, one, go.
Co-MVP is a sophomore, Michigan's 6th Man Award winner as a freshman. Hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons. Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana, Zach Irving, 44-34. Brandon Taylor draws a double team. Cross-court pass, Isaiah Washington. Shep Garner backs it up with 10 to shoot. Turns the corner hard. Lobs it inside. Knocked away. Donnell in the hands of Taylor, who lays it in.
That was good defense by Donnell. Got himself. He covered the ball screen, sprint on the dive, got back down to take away that lob pass. But just an unfortunate bounce for Michigan. Fortunate for Penn State. Goes right to Brandon Taylor.
Brandon Taylor with 10 points now.
I guess they'd say that's advantageous. That's the broadcaster term.
And a foul coming up. Peyton Banks. His second.
You gotta like covering ball screens. I mean, look, that's a challenge. Getting yourself all the way out, then diving hard. Getting down, covering that ball screen, diving hard, getting back to the rim. That's a lot of work. That takes effort. And one of the hardest things to get guys to do at this college level is put effort on the defensive end, especially if you're big.
Abdur Rahman leans in, picks up his dribble. Baseline Donnell. Michigan with plenty of time on the shot clock, 18 seconds, as Walton Jr. backs it up. John Beilein barking out instructions to his boys. Walton Jr. step back jump shot. Got it.
That is one heck of an answer.
He has 5. 47-36. Garner and draws contact, driving to the basket.
The reason you step back, it's not just because it looks cool. You step back to create space, and when you're being covered by a 7-footer with like a 7'12" wingspan, I think that's 8 feet. 7 foot whatever wingspan, you have to create as much space as possible. He jumped back on that step back to get that shot off.
You know what I liked about it the most?
It went in.
It looked cool.
It did look cool, man. I'll tell you. There's a reason why you shoot step back jumpers when you're by yourself in the gym. It just looks better.
Garner missing the first free throw. Julian Moore back in the game.
You see that. That's become more and more of a staple of this game, though, now. It used to be that only elite shooters and scorers shot a step back. They were the only ones allowed to do it. Now everybody does. You see big men in the post shooting a one-leg fadeaway.
Dirk Nowitzki, as Garner hits the second. 10-point game. Garner with 9 rather. Meanwhile, that's a new move in basketball. Manu Ginobili perfecting it, the Euro step.
I mean, the Euro step is done to perfection when you slow it down. And that's what he did.
And Garner speeding it up. Shep. Beautiful move to the basket. And he'll go to the line looking to complete the three-point play.
Like what we're seeing a little tempo, a little pace to the game. Great finish by Shep Garner. And I think players know that there's a camera down there. I'm pretty sure they know. He gave a little firm flex down there. He knows the camera's on him. Go ahead, Shep. It's New York.
Janelle picks up his third. And Garner misses the free throw. On the baseline, deals it. Donnell took the dribble and lays it in.
That was a great setup by Walton. I mean, he broke some ankles, dished it off well. Donnell just lost it. Good job getting it back and finishing over. A good shot block.
Foster finds Garner. Taylor inside, rolling to the basket, the fade, and good.
He had zero space to work, too. I think spacing's important in basketball, particularly in the college game when you rely on a little bit more structure than the NBA game.
Brandon Taylor with 12. 10-point lead for Michigan. Irvin to the hole and one. Zach Irvin.
That's going to be hard to stop. That's a simple dribble handoff. There's really no screen there, but you're trailing the play. You need some sort of help, whether it's backside or the big covering the man screening. That is hard to stop. I think everyone says move your feet, slide your feet, play defense, don't use your hands, but good luck if you've ever been in that situation.
So Foster picks up his third. Irvin starting to put the points on the board now. 15 today. Free throw no good. Garner claims it. Washington hangs in the air and gets the roll.
I like the move. I like the move in transition, applying pressure to the defense. But it seems as if every time Penn State has made a move, every time they've made some plays, someone comes back. It's been an answer from the Wolverines.
Irvin again to his right. Baseline, Robinson, short. Gets his own rebound. No box out by Taylor. Doyle rejected. Nicely done by Donovan Jack.
You got to be happy when Donovan Jack's making plays. Good offensive possession, good movement. But Donovan Jack says, no way, not in here. This is our East Coast.
Welcome back to New York City. Great day in the city. 53-43 Michigan leading Penn State here in the second half, and the Wolverines doing it without their best player.
And they're one of the best players in the country. I'd say he's top 5 in the conference, top 20 in the country. He's tremendous. This team's going to be that much better when he comes back. Let's kick it over to Rick Pizzo.
It's really pretty amazing, guys, that the Wolverines have a chance to be 7-2 with basically no help at all from Caris LeVert. When he went out with injury, he was leading this team in scoring, rebounding, and assists. Yet he hasn't seen a minute since the calendar flipped to 2016. I spoke with John Beilein earlier this week, and he told me they will not play LeVert until they are convinced that he is 100%. I asked John if he had any concerns about chemistry, considering how well this team has played without LeVert. He said, yeah, that's an interesting point. I do have those concerns, but make no mistake about it. When Caris LeVert is healthy, he will be in the starting lineup.
All right, thank you, Rick. LeVert, 18 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 5.2 assists, shooting 51% from the field, 45% from the three-point line, and he's an 81% free throw shooter.
I mean, he's got a lot of Andrew Wiggins in his game. That's just kind of how he is. You see Chet Garner almost get that to go, but there's no doubt you have to find a way to get him back on the floor if he's back. Yes, the chemistry's been great. The balance has been great. You just hope that he sees what's going on and sees where he fits right back in this group. It'll be a dangerous team in March if he's back. They already are.
And according to the Michigan staff, Doyle slipping in the basket and jams it down. Dawkins, nice look. According to the Michigan staff, LeVert could be back any day.
We don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It's all about him being 100%. He's going through drills, not playing yet. It is going to be important for him to get back so they can develop, or I should say redevelop chemistry heading into tournament time.
Walton Jr., big hop kick. Dawkins deep. And a whistle and foul. Doyle and Brandon Taylor getting tied up.
You love good ball movement, good man movement, forcing the defense. I mean, that's a screen re-screen. And that is beautiful basketball. You got to watch it. Screen, re-screen, and slip. And there are certain things that coaches just love, and it's good execution. Yeah, you like a crossover and a dunk, but coaches love good execution that leads to a layup or dunk.
So here comes Garner, bringing it up the floor with Isaiah Washington, Brandon Taylor, Donovan Jack, and Peyton Banks.
Here you see another defense from the Wolverines, a little extended 1-3-1, forcing a tough shot, and now they're out and running.
Outlet pass, Irvin, and he's fouled.
He said the defenses have been switching up, taking rhythm out of the game, making things tough. Tough enough already with Penn State. Down a few men. No Josh Reeves, who's been great for them. Struggling to get it going offensively. Then you have to deal with different defense. At that time, an extended 1-3-1 led to a tough shot and a run out.
Peyton Banks called for the foul, and that sends Irvin to the line. And the first one good. Foster coming back in. And a recruiting class that they will be talking about for some time coming to
They are
Happy
very
Valley.
excited. I'll tell you, they are very excited about this class, and I think it's a statement. I think it's a statement around the league about what Pat Chambers and his staff is really doing to build this program. Yes, there are certain things in terms of execution you need to clean up, and you're going to have to develop those players. But to get that level of a class on campus is huge for the Nittany Lions.
another turnover, and Dawkins tries to jam it on the lob from Irvin. But is fouled.
He's almost number 2. First half, he almost threw one down. That one almost went 2.
What Johnny Dawkins gave his son his hops. That's for sure. He's got his mama's jump and his daddy's legs.
Oh, man. He's a great athlete, and he has shown that he can shoot the ball, too.
10:16 to go, second half. Back to Madison Square Garden right after this. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern on BTN and BTN to go. Don't forget, basketball, Wisconsin at Rutgers, Wisconsin at Ohio State. In 2018, Ohio State at Minnesota, and Minnesota at Michigan State. Dawkins at the line. And he'll get the second.
I think this is an important time for Penn State.
Certainly is.
I mean, this is the time where before the 8-minute timeout, you've got to gain momentum and make this thing at least a 10-point ball game. You've got to try to get it into single digits.
But if you turn the ball over like that, it'll be pretty hard and a foul.
And you have to credit Michigan's defense, extending the pressure, trapping over half court, sped up Penn State to the point where it led to a turnover.
Self-inflicted wounds, 10 turnovers now. for the Nittany Lions.
I mean, you look at every sport. Turnovers are so key. Self-inflicted wounds, you say, even in tennis, an unforced error. That will just add up, and it will hurt you.
As Coach Chambers told us, Michigan will not beat Michigan. Penn State can't beat Penn State. Irvin fades on the baseline and good.
How about that?
He is a scorer.
You talk about the evolution of his game. The fact that he started as a scorer, to me, is a good thing. I want to know that somebody can go get buckets. I can turn him into a better passer and better defender and better rebounder.
He's got 19. Banks driving. No call on the play. Walton, outlet pass. Doyle ahead of the field, and it's knocked out of play.
Sometimes as an analyst, you try to break down a really good move, and then you just remember that that's just a really good move. Nothing more for me to say. How do you stop that? Good defense. Look, contest the level of the ball. It was done. Just better offense.
Jack Irvin, 9 points over his season average this afternoon. 9:20 to go. Zingoulis checking Walton Jr. now with the ball. He turns the corner. Left wing Robinson. Doyle, offensive rebound, blocked from behind by Julian Moore. Penn State's got to make their run starting now. Brandon Taylor. Spinning inside, 14-foot leader is good.
He's very good. He makes simple plays, then he makes some tough plays look simple. He does a great job. He has great footwork, good balance, good body control. Doesn't move too fast. Very impressive with his game. He's really developed a lot throughout his time at Penn State as well.
He's got 14 today. Robinson, top of the key. Irvin, pull-up jumper. 15-footer rolls out. Julian Moore with the rebound. Garner. Guarded by Irvin. They lob it. Taylor's got a mismatch here. Draws a double team. Drives baseline. Kicks it out. Garner's got to hit this one. And does.
That was great execution of just two-man game. Just go ahead. You got the mismatch. You got the switch if you want to. Throw the ball down low and force three defenders to converge. And before he hit the deck, he found Shep Garner.
Now Robinson off balance. Garner with the hard push into the front court. He's got Foster with him. Takes it to the basket. Double clutch up and in. And the Nittany Lions cut it to 10 with 7:38 to go. 16 points for Shep Garner.
It's got to get cut to 10 or under. Heading into this under 8 timeout, you've got to be happy with the energy, the emotion you're finally starting to see. Yes, Brandon Taylor, I've got great footwork. I can make plays. But if you throw it to me in the post, I'm going to find a way to get Shep Garner going. This Penn State team has some playmakers. They have some guys that can hit shots. They've just got to continue to do it if they want to have a chance in this game. Right now, 10-point game. We got some more basketball to play.
We exist to assist. Our hoops action continues next when the Gophers take on Indiana, followed by Purdue and Nebraska. Coverage starts right after our game, presented by 5 Hour Energy on BTN and BTN to go.
There are so many dangerous teams in this league. I'll tell you what, Minnesota and Nebraska are two of them. Minnesota yet to win a game in conference play, but they are going to beat someone.
10-point game here, Michigan. Leading Penn State with 7:19 to go. Walton Jr., the jump shot, short. Donnell with a rebound. He has it stripped by Garner. Garner's starting to warm up a bit now. Gets to the hole, blocked by Donnell. Foster diving after the basketball and a whistle and foul coming up, and it will go against Foster.
I like that Garner's continuing to be aggressive. Coming out of the timeout, yes, you want to actually attack. The problem is you're going to get that shot blocked 9 times out of 10. Tough foul for Foster there, just going after a loose ball. It's going to be 4. I think That last possession, though, I mean, you've got Shep Garner down on Donnell. He gets the offensive rebound because Shep Garner's gotten switched up on a big, got the strip, which was huge.
Walton Jr. Eric Walton Jr., Chandler Park Academy out of Detroit, averaging 12 a game. He's got 2 double-doubles this year versus Maryland and Youngstown State. Missed the final 12 games last year due to a foot injury suffered versus Iowa. And I tell you what, Coach Beeline, it's rare that you see him deal with the number of injuries that he's dealt with at Michigan last couple of seasons.
A lot of coaches.
Spike Albrecht had retired.
The serious injuries, too. I mean, Spike Albrecht, the numerous surgeries on his hip.
Walton Jr. He's got Dawkins on the right wing, left baseline. Abdur Rahman on the hop, finds Donnell inside, and a foul.
You know, to your point, though, I think it also changes how he handles Caris LeVert. When you deal with so many injuries, and you saw what he said, you heard what he said about Walton Jr., saying, look, I saw him play through pain, and it actually made him worse. So, yes, I think that changes the way they're dealing with Caris LeVert. It's why you see Caris LeVert still on the sideline when you know Caris wants to play. I mean, it's senior year. And it's a team that's playing good basketball.
So Mark Donnell. And he'll get a pair. 10 points for Donnell. He averages 7.
Michigan back to the extended 1-3-1, really just picking the tempo up. I think Penn State's got to find a way to attack it, especially with the dribble.
Seth Garner, deep jump shot is good. Trying to keep Penn State in this game, but they've got to come up with some stops. Garner with 19.
That's what you do against that 1-3-1. There are going to be driving lanes. You just have to get the ball inside the tee, kicked out. Eventually, those driving lanes are going to open up to the basket.
Walton Jr. Dips inside, leaves it for Donnell. Donnell picks it up. 5 to shoot. Dawkins doesn't know what time is on the clock. Donnell the fadeaway. And Garner with the rebound. He brings it up the floor. Baseline. Peyton Banks. And he's fouled from behind.
I like this because it's a driving lane that leads to an open three. And the type of three that shooters really want is one where you can step into it. Something Tom Crean and his team does so well. They shoot a high percentage because the majority of the threes that they get, they're stepping into their shot. Right there, you saw them attack the defense, get inside, kick out. Got a good shooter, a good look.
If Dawkins heads out of the game, Irvin back in. Irvin has 19. Zimbulis to Garner from NBA range.
Wow. I'll tell you, man, he is all about rhythm. You get him going, you get him a little bit of momentum, he's going to kill you.
22 points, and all of a sudden, Penn State is there. Trailing 64 to 56. A stop right here and a bucket. Could be very interesting. Abdur Rahman in and out. They get the stop. Can they get the bucket? Garner. Julian Moore. Banks. Baseline, Zimbulis. Got it! Davis Zimbulis. And we've got a 5-point game. His first basket of the day. Penn State on a 9-0 run. Will Michigan flinch?
How about it? The Nittany Lions faithful here, up off their feet.
Robinson. Duncan Robinson. Slicing to the basket.
And that's all set up because his three-point shot is so effective.
Banks for 3. Walton Jr. the other way. Bounce pass in between. Put it on a dime. The young man from the motor.
Has it not been an answer for everything Penn State has thrown their way? Shep Garner hits big shots. They make a few plays, and Goulis knocks one down. But Michigan always has the answer.
3:56 to go in the second half. Penn State fighting.
You can knock down three-point shots. You can stay in basketball games. This one, that was from Chelsea. And Zim Goulis finds a way to get one to go. He's not Mr. Offense, but he gets it. Michigan always has an answer, though. We have a ball game right now. 9-point game at MSG.
Just doing such a wonderful job, and you know that Tom Izzo and the Spartans are going to be good always down the stretch. So Penn State on a scoring run. The three ball going down for them.
And Penn State's been great in terms of energy. They've been good in late game situations because I think they play faster. They play with a better sense of urgency on the offensive end. I think that's really what they need to do all game. We saw it against Ohio or against Wisconsin. They couldn't score the basketball except for the last 6 minutes. So I would really look out for Penn State if I'm Michigan right now. They play with a sense of urgency. They play fast. They're tough to stop, especially when the threes are falling.
Now Garner looking to there's space to shoot that jump shot. 4 to shoot. Garner's got to hurry up. He'll take it from deep. And an air ball out of bounds.
And that's a tough possession. I say for one team, it's a great possession defensively out of the timeout, but the offensive team out of a timeout usually wants to execute well. And that's a tough one for Pat Chambers.
68-59. Penn State 5 of 11 from the three-point line in the second half. Michigan 1 of 6. And Irvin gets to the basket, misses the layup. Julian Moore takes it away from him. Banks. Approaching the 3-minute mark of the second half. Brandon Taylor calling for the basketball. He's got Irvin on his back. Bullies him, gets to the hole and banks it in.
Man, if anyone's going to flex after a move, it should be Brandon Taylor. You said it. He just bullies guys down in the post.
16 for Taylor. 68-61. Donnell. Irvin. Irvin driving, finds Walton Jr., 13 to shoot. He skips to the hole, hangs in the air, banks it down.
He was so good at changing speeds on that play. That hesitation was absolutely killer. He stood the defense up and then turned on the Jets, got to the basket.
Here's Taylor for 3. Banks trying to keep it alive, out of bounds, Penn State ball.
I think it's got to be Brandon Taylor down the stretch. I mean, he seems to have that edge down low. He plays like he's 6'9", 350, just bullying guys down there.
Brandon Taylor, 6'6", 225. As Devin Foster comes back in.
I mean, come on, man. He uses that 225 as well as anybody.
Garner. Moore inside. Another jump hook off the back rim. Walton Jr. with a rebound.
I like the shot. Look, I love a left shoulder right hook from a big, but at the same time, I think I've got to give the ball to Brandon Taylor. I think I just saw him say, give me the ball, too.
Michigan in no hurry now. Up 70-61. Under 2 minutes to go. 10 seconds to shoot. Walton Jr. And a whistle and foul as he drives to the basket.
Right now you see Brandon Taylor and Shep Garner talking, and they're intense. They are very intense right now in conversation because Brandon Taylor wants the ball. And if I'm a senior and I've had success down in the post, I'm saying the same thing.
So Walton Jr. going to the line. He's got 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Close to a triple-double, this young man. Now he has 10, and our Motel 6 sixth man, Aubrey Dawkins, 7 points off the bench. Hit a couple of threes. Had a chance for a couple of exciting dunks, just a hair short.
Oh, man. He is one of the best athletes on the floor, hands down. Did most of his work in the first half.
Garner driving, the kick, Zimbulis a three. Ball tapped up by guess who? Brandon Taylor. 1:38 to play, second half. 72-63. Back after this. Motorists Insurance Group drive to the hoop.
Been quite a few drives to the hoop. I'll tell you what, this game has been impressive. I think both teams have fought back. Shep Garner has been terrific. Somehow gets this thing to go. Never an easy shot when a guard goes to the basket. And Penn State at some point, they got to find a way to work back into this game on the defensive end. You've got to get stops. You got to be careful of screens and slips.
72-63. Michigan coming into this game with a 16-5 record. 6-2 in the Big Ten. 2-1 on neutral courts this season.
You look at the time left on the floor. I mean, we've seen teams come back from much more in much less. A minute 38, down 9. I think Penn State's got to be aggressive getting to the basket. They also have to get some turnovers. There's no way around it. You've got to find a way to get some turnovers, turn those turnovers into points. I like the extended pressure.
Michigan coming into this game, winners of 3 in a row. 4 of their last 5. Walton Jr. into the front court. And he'll peel it back and run the clock.
Well, Penn State got the trap they wanted there in that short corner. But once you get the ball to Walton, Michigan's in control. He has been terrific.
Michigan's 2 losses in the Big Ten to Iowa and Purdue. Top of the arc, Walton, 3 to shoot, lets it go. Brandon Taylor claims it. A minute to go in the game. 72-63. Taylor a 3. Batted out. Taylor gets it again. Wraps it around and is fouled.
Taylor's been all over the place. Good job by Julian Moore keeping that play alive with the tap out. And I like the attack from Brandon Taylor. He wants this game, and that's what you need. You need somebody that's going to grab your guys by the throat and say, this is what we need to do if we want to win this basketball game.
Taylor coming from an athletic family. His uncle Terrence Stansbury played at Temple and in the NBA for 3 seasons. His cousin Tiffany was a 2-time All-ACC pick at NC State and played in the WNBA. Foster back in, 20 points for Brandon Taylor.
Talk about this Michigan team and the teams they lost to in the Big Ten being Iowa and Purdue. Outside of conference, their only losses come to Xavier, UConn, and SMU. They don't have a bad loss in the bunch.
Duncan Robinson being tracked down from behind. I agree with you 100%.
There's not a lot of teams out there. There are some top 5 teams that have bad losses. This Michigan team doesn't.
And those losses in the Big Ten coming at Purdue and at Iowa. 82-71 in Iowa City. And 87-70 in West Lafayette.
I really am interested to see what this team looks like with Caris LeVert on the floor. And I would say what changed the most, people always ask these questions, well, why are they so different? Well, the ball moves a little bit better when you take a star off the floor. And that's just how it is. There's no way around it. It's fine. It's not a knock on Caris LeVert. But the ball has moved better without him on the floor. I just hope when he comes back, he understands why they're a better team now. And he can bring his game. He's a 20-point-a-game kind of guy. He's a playmaker. He does pass the ball well, but he always has to do it with the ball in his hands.
Baseline, Banks a 3. Iarker goes down. 36.2 to go. Abdur-Rahman to Walton Jr., and he's fouled.
How about this environment, though? I mean, both teams, you saw the run from Penn State, and all of a sudden you realize how many Penn Staters are here. And then you saw the answer from Michigan. Then you realize how many Wolverine fans are here. It's been a great environment.
That's right. The lower bowl is completely packed. And a lot of fans in the upper deck as well, as you take a look at the Garden.
This is a home game for Penn State, technically in the books, but it's certainly nowhere near State College. 10 buses of students took the trip, I-80. What is that trip? You take 80, right? Take 80 to New York.
Approximately 32,000 Penn State alum live in New York City. This is Penn State's first return to MSG since the 2009 NIT championship. In the corner, Banks again. He's strong. Taylor with a rebound, and he'll lay it in with 23 seconds to go.
And he is
6-point game.
He is fighting. You've got to like Brandon Taylor. I mean, if there's a guy that you really can showcase, I would trust throwing the ball to Brandon Taylor. And anytime he says, give me the ball, I want the ball, it's not selfish. It's just, I feel like I can get us a bucket. I played with a few guys like that, my brother being one of them.
Taylor, 22 points on 10 of 18 shooting. And Duncan Robinson at the line. And he gets the first. Irvin, what a performance tonight. This one brought to you by Quicken Loans. The amazing performance is Zach Irvin, 19 points.
Zach Irvin's been terrific. I mean, we've talked about it. John Beilein really said how he's developed his game. He's become more of an all-around player, not just a scorer. And I think there's a lesson to be learned there. I mean, you are better when you can share the ball. You're better when you can rebound. You're better when you can do a little bit of everything. You certainly help the team more when you do a little bit of everything.
Gardner, this is the layup. Taylor with the rebound and put back. And Irvin fouled again with 11 seconds remaining.
I like the fight for Penn State. I mean, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get fight. It's going to be constant. They're not going to give up. Brandon Taylor's been terrific. Shep Garner's been great. Brandon Taylor just hasn't given up on it. He's really showing this crowd how much he loves playing on this floor and how much he wants it.
And Irvin looking for his 20th point. And he gets it rather. As Donnell heads out of the game, John Beilein wants to spread the floor defensively. Garner picks it up with 10 to go.
Right now, it's all about not fouling. We don't want to stop the game. They take a tough shot. They take a tough shot. Great game, though. We had some back and forth. Credit the Wolverines. They played well enough to win this game. They made plays. But goodness gracious, we did have a good one.
So Michigan wins their 7th game in conference play to improve to 17-5, 7-2 in the Big Ten. Penn State falling to 11-11, 2-7 in conference play. And the standings in the Big Ten: Michigan in the hunt with Indiana, Iowa, and Maryland. Purdue there, Ohio State there as well.
Michigan has really shown us a little something, all without their best player. Very special performance.
79-72 the final. The Wolverines prevail here in New York City.
Here with head coach John Beilein, an amazing performance by Zach Irvin, 20 points. How have you seen him develop and become a little bit more aggressive offensively with Karras out?
Well, you know what? He's had to do it. He had to do it last year. He had to be able to learn to put the ball on the floor and make plays from there. And he did it wonderfully today. You know, he sees the floor, but he's learning to finish as well. They got some big shot blockers. He got it through on him a few times, and it's really become really a great young man to coach because he's getting it all just at the right time.
Derek Walton didn't have his best day shooting the basketball, but you look up at the stats, I believe 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and great defense. Yeah. What does he mean to your basketball team?
He means a lot. He was the guts down that stretch when we were trying to give Zach a rest. Zach was tired. He went in and made a big basket, right? He has to always guard that. There's some great point guards in this league, Rick. He's always guarding a great point guard. And so he's playing 39 minutes a game. So he's really meant a lot to this team.
Now you're going to let these guys loose in the city for a little bit?
You know, we're going to go get, I mean, it's New York. I know some Italian places they're going to eat. They're going to wish we never came in there if it's family style. They're going to go graze for a couple hours. And then we're going to come back and root for the hockey team. Great day, great day.
John, congratulations. Appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Gus?
All right, once again, the final score, 79-72. Michigan defeating Penn State. Coming up next on Big Ten Network, Minnesota and Indiana. And don't forget our coverage from Madison Square Garden. Picks back up again at 6:30 tonight with our hockey pregame show. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of the Big Ten Network. For John Crispin, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long.